Welcome to my channel Ask Neena Teacher, and today I present my third video in this series on parent-teacher meetings. And today we will discuss how you can make the most of the meetings held during the academic year, often after exams. These meetings can be very productive if you have prepared for it. How? Let's dive straight in. Like all good conversations, parent-teacher meetings are best when both people talk and listen. This is a time for you to learn about your child's progress in school. Let's see the preparations you need to make before these meetings. Parent-teacher meetings are usually short, so it's worthwhile for you to prepare for them so that you can make the most of the allotted time. I would like to share some of the preparations parents in my survey usually make for these meetings. Let's start with a video first.
I speak to my son to see if there are any issues that he wants me to talk about. I also go through his notebooks and keep his question papers on hand in case there are any questions that I would like to ask him about it.
Miss Sejal Zaveri says, try to remember how the preparation was for the paper and how the paper was and while she wrote it. Address the teacher with the improvement strategy. Sakina says, parents mostly note down what they want to ask the teacher and sometimes carry notebooks as a reference. Pollyanna says, I write down all the points I think are important. Jisha says, I talk to the child few days before the meeting if anything is to be discussed with the teacher. Then make a list of queries, if any, to ask the class teacher. Most of the other respondents said none, no preparations. I absolutely agree with Mrs. Jisha here. Talking with your child is one of the most important part of the preparations. Ask your child if there's anything they want you to talk about with the teacher. If the child is accompanying you, then they can ask their questions. Make sure that your child understands that you and the teacher are meeting to help the child, so the child doesn't need to worry about the meeting. And now, what do you wish to ask the teacher? What do you want to know specifically? Here are some suggestions, some questions you could ask your child's teacher. About your child's academics, you can ask questions about the homework. Homework can be tricky. Successfully managing homework has a lot to do with establishing a successful study routine, which should include completing the routine by turning in the homework to the teacher. As a school teacher and parent, I see it happen all the time where a child spends all night completing a homework and then forgetting it to take it to school the next day. The hard part of the task was completed, but because the end of the routine was not practiced, there was this mess. Do check out my video on homework routines on the link given below. You can also ask, what can I do at home to help support my child's academic progress? Are there any areas for concern? Questions about your child's personality. How does my child handle stress or challenges? Is my child comfortable in a leadership role? Does my child prefer to work on their own or in a group? Ask questions about how your child learns. Is my child curious in class, eager to learn? Does my child seem confident? You can ask questions about your child's emotional well-being. Does my child participate well in the class? How does my child get along with others? How does my child act when his or her behavior is corrected? Remember, ask the most important questions first, as you may run out of time, especially if other parents are waiting to have their turn after yours. You can plan which questions you need to ask. So every meeting, you can ask about different aspects of your child. You don't have to ask all the questions in one meeting. So during the meeting, the things you need to do is 1. Be on time. That will help you to get off to the right start. Come to the meeting on time and remember that other parents may also have slots scheduled for that day. So if you arrive late, you may have to miss your turn altogether. You should also plan on ending the meeting at scheduled time so that other parents can start theirs on time. Teachers appreciate that. Second thing, remember, stay calm during the meeting. Sometimes parents really lose their cool. For example, a parent gets angry with their child right during the meeting on hearing a negative feedback or while going through exam papers. Respectful communication will be the most effective way to work together with your child's teacher. Getting angry or upset during the meeting will make it very difficult to have a positive conversation. Respectfully discuss differences of opinion. If you agree with the teacher, fine. If you don't, please explain to her why you disagree. If you don't let the teacher know about your differences of opinion, the teacher may think that you agree and she will move on to the next topic. Discussing your differences with the teacher will help both of you find a more effective way to help your child. Ask your questions. Remember to prioritize them beforehand. Listen carefully to what the teacher says. If there's something you don't understand, whatever the teacher has said, please don't hesitate to ask for clarification. It is important for you to understand what your child's teacher is telling you. Make sure you understand the teacher's suggestions and ask for clarification if you don't. Now, after the meeting, first thing, talk to your child. Irrespective whether your child attended the meeting with you or not. These meetings are all about your child, so include the child in discussing the meeting. Share with your child what you learned. Show him or her how you are going to help with learning at home. During my survey, I asked a couple of teachers to share their experience from both sides of the table. I mean, as a parent and as a teacher. Let's see what they have to say.
Parent-teachers meeting has always been one time when I wanted to go to school, meet the teacher, know about the activities happening in school. I also wanted to know my child's contribution towards the activities and, most important, the feedback that I would get from the teacher. I would love hearing the praises about my child from the teacher, but would also wait to hear the the ways to help my child to become a better individual. So now as a teacher, I have realized the importance of my feedback to each and every parent. And I would love to see that every parent comes, gets some positive point about their child. In fact, there have been times when I have told parents, please come and meet me regularly so that you can know what a beautiful child you have in your life.
Hi, Tandra Chakravarti here. Firstly, when I used to go as a parent for my daughter's PTA, it used to be very brief, and I don't know, fortunately or unfortunately, I used to teach in the same school before I moved to another school. So I had a feedback much before I actually went formally for it. So I wouldn't be able to give you a very fair idea. But I would like to say that when I was a teacher and I used to wait for the interaction with parents to happen, it was one of the biggest days for me because I used to wait to meet the other partner in the whole team, because I do feel that the child, the parent, and the teacher together, it's a triangle that works in a educational institute. It's not just about the teacher and it's not just about the report cards. So with every interaction, which used to be, say, could go from 5 minutes to 15 minutes, you have to be mentally on and off with every parent, because you have to switch off from the previous experience to the next one to make it more personalized. And I do feel that you have to hear out the parent, good, bad, whatever it is, because just putting forward what you want to say and the child's academic performance defeats the whole purpose of a PT. Whether the child should be there for a PTA? Yes, because I feel the child should listen to his success in the presence of his parents said by his teacher that boosts their confidence to another extent. And you have to keep that ready more than the academics. There shouldn't be a loss for words or, pata nahi isko kya acha bolu. That kind of mentality is not going to help the proceedings. And the other thing is, yes, you need to just send the child out for 2 minutes to perhaps listen to the parents without the child around. And because it's a human interaction, and because it changes dynamics from one person to another, it's a skill. It's a huge skill you learn only on the job. There is no amount of training that can teach you. Loads of empathy is required to carry on this day. It's a very draining day, but there is end of it. It's huge satisfaction. And the feedback and which you get then and there makes a difference. The confidence that the parents develop for the school, for the mentor, the feeling of safety and security the child feels when the two guardians are together supporting them. I think the PTA is a very strong tool when used in the right way. And I wish we could have a PTA audits. Believe me, because I have seen PTAs being done all wrong. And I have seen PTAs, used as a tool for marketing a few things. Yeah, it's because I have worked in so many institutes. And I have also been lucky to work in institutes which gave most teachers the independence to conduct their PTAs according to their, personalities. So PTA is a very dynamic tool, very, very human oriented, cannot be put in a jacketed form, cannot be boxed, but needs a lot of sensitization, needs a lot of empathy. And yes, I think in a few cases needs training too. I hope I could put in whatever possible in the few words. And thanks, Nina, for giving me this opportunity to get back to those beautiful nostalgic events. See you.
I hope these ideas shared in today's video have motivated you to make your own parent-teacher meetings as productive as possible. Are you already using some of these? I'm sure some of you have some gems to share too. Will you? Please. So see you in my next video on a new aspect of parent-teacher meetings. Goodbye and take care.